How does verbal communication vary across cultures? Imagine trying to have a conversation where every word feels like it's from a different language, even though you're speaking the same one. That's what cross-cultural communication can sometimes be like. Verbal communication changes a lot from one culture to another, and understanding these differences can make a big difference in how well we connect with others. Some cultures prefer to be very clear and straightforward. They say exactly what they mean and expect others to do the same. Think of countries like the United States and Germany, where directness is often seen as honesty and respect. On the flip side, many Asian cultures like Japan and China favor indirect communication. They often use hints, suggestions, or polite phrases to avoid hurting feelings or creating conflict. This way, harmony is maintained, and everyone feels comfortable. Another key difference is how much people relying on the context of a conversation. In high-context cultures such as South Korea and Italy, much of what's meant is understood through social cues, body language, or shared history. Words might be less important than the situation or relationship behind the words. In contrast, low-context cultures like Canada or Scandinavian countries depend on explicit language. They prefer clear, detailed messages that leave little room for guesswork. Cultural values about individualism and collectivism also shape how people speak. In individualistic societies like the United States or Western Europe, people often use I statements and focus on personal opinions. They express their needs and rights openly. But in collectivist cultures such as many in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, communication tends to emphasize the group or family. People may use more polite language, avoid direct disagreement, and prioritize group harmony over personal expression. Speech rituals and everyday greetings also vary widely. In some cultures, a formal bow or a handshake is a sign of respect, while in others, a simple nod or a warm hug might be the norm. How apologies are made, how politeness is shown, and even how much eye contact is appropriate can all differ. Not knowing these rules can sometimes lead to misunderstandings or even offense. When talking across cultures, it's smart to pay attention to these differences. For example, if you're in a culture that values indirectness, asking a direct question might seem rude. Instead, framing your request more softly or using hints can be more effective. Recognizing whether a culture values individual opinions or group consensus can help you choose words that show respect and understanding. In the end, knowing how verbal communication varies across cultures helps us avoid missteps and build better relationships. It's about being aware that what feels normal to one person might be quite different to another. When we respect these differences, our cross-cultural conversations become smoother, more respectful, and more meaningful.